may I invite my fellow colleague, Chetan Parekh, who would be sharing with us his views on the market and what we see as trends. Chetan.
Morning, everyone. Great to see all of the friends and the clients here. Thank you so much for coming in. So I'll cover the market, which is fast changing. So glad to see a fair bit of change on the market side. So I'll start with the banking landscape first, then go over to digital, which is one of the hottest topic we saw voting just now, and then go into what banks should do for bank of the future. Now, bulk of the insights we bring in are thanks to our research business, IBS Intelligence, which does a deep research across some of these domains. So looking at the banking, go next, please. So what you see on the left is Bahrain's growth, and it's a consistent growth post-COVID. As you can see, there was a stagnation among the COVID, and then it started jumping back. A CAGR of 5.5%. It's quite a healthy CAGR given the GDP growth which we are seeing across GCC. And that's clearly, again, 18% of the GDP being contributed by banking industry. Central number is quite an interesting number. All of us know how Islamic banking is emerging. But when you look at the growth on both conventional to Islamic is growing at double the speed. And this is not only Bahrain. When we look at globally, Islamic is in double digits against a conventional growth which is in 6-7% globally. So Bahrain is no different. Islamic is again going at the double of conventional. And again, when you look at, everybody says, UAE is where the place is, a lot of things, Dubai is leading. But if you look at Islamic banking assets in Bahrain, that's growing faster than Dubai. Yeah? So that's where Islamic growth you can see very clearly. Also, when you look at the system investments and technology investments, that's a key leading indicator of how enterprise and banking sector is investing. Almost 14% of the GCC deals are with Bahrain. Whereas if you look at the GDP of Bahrain in the overall terms, it's only 2% of GCC. So it's a significantly automation and technology driven investments which Bahrain-based organizations are making. Moving to the next. This is a very, very interesting chart. As all of you know, Bahrain was one of the first in the industry to start with fintechs. Fintech Bay in Bahrain is very, very famous for some very nice ideas. When you look at the fintech breakdown of 120 plus fintech in Bahrain, bulk of it, as Ram highlighted earlier, is in payments. So you see almost 44% payment. And then you see a very widespread across different technologies. Interestingly, even blockchain, 17%, being mainly focused in trade and government, right? Around crypto. RegTech, great to see the focus there. That's where next 5 years, banks will be strengthening their regulatory technology, and that's where a lot of innovation exists as well. And wealth and other areas, which are natural to Bahrain, being one of the offshore market. Some of the notable ones, which you can see, Tarabut, as all of you know, open banking gateway. From Rain to Benefit, which is a payments household name in Bahrain. They've done a major success story, which world has seen and inspired from. And innovations like ELA, right? Over the last 4 to 5 years, they now have more than 30% market share in Bahrain. So it's not small. Any bank to have that kind of a digital market share globally will take a vintage of 15 years, right? But they've done it in less than 5. So that shows clearly an idea of Fulus, which was launched last year. Again, small lending coming to Bahrain for the first time. Clearly, lots and lots of ideas on the table at the Bahrain as we see on fintech side. Moving further. Now, of course, Bahrain has invested, central bank has changed, regulations. Over the last 5 years, there is quite a significant regulation shift. Bahrain was first to introduce open banking. Saudi, UAE is following Bahrain's trend, looking at the success of Bahrain. FinHub 973, which started almost 4 years back, to KYC and related changes. Payment related, some of the programs which central bank has introduced in 2022. And ESG as well as crypto asset programs which central bank. So consistently bringing new things every year is what makes Bahrain a place with a lot of interesting ideas being executed. And of course, maybe population may be small, but these ideas are then taken into other GCC countries. Yeah. Moving further. So this is very interesting on the trend side, what's happening in the market. As all of you will know, everybody is doing digital. Digital definition changes from a traditional bank to a digital bank to a completely innovation-driven bank. But digital transformations is the way world is shifting, and Bahrain is quite ahead in it. Fintech innovation, of course, lots and lots global economies are buying from subcontinent and Asia, whereas Bahrain has lots and lots internal strength of fintechs based out of Bahrain. Mergers, as you know, some of the largest mergers were announced. AUB becoming KFH, which is concluding end of this year. BBK and NBB has announced that they are studying their merger. So this will make smaller number of banks, but bigger banks, right? Which again is healthy from an industry perspective. There is a more capital available. There is more strength available in the banking sector, right? So that's another important change which is happening at Bahrain. Mobile payments, all of you know what Benefit Pay has done with an acquisition of customer. It's become straightforward payments and real-time payments. And sustainable. That's again with ESG regulation coming around. The sustainability has become a very big perspective on the trends. So these are the top 5 trends we see from a Bahrain banking industry perspective. Moving to digital banking. And again, digital banking has different definitions. So we'll start first, go next. So first, let's look at how the digital banking is growing across GCC. So across the markets, it's a very different play. UAE started the game back in 2016, 2017 with Bahrain. With Bahrain going with an open banking, UAE going with a digital. Even today, there is no digital license in UAE. So it is traditional banks, and close to, you see, 10 odd innovations. Now, few of these innovations like Neo from Mashrak, or Live from Emirates NBD, or View from Abu Dhabi, ADQ and Etisalat. These are 500,000 to 700,000 customers each, taking total 25% penetration, right? So that's where UAE. Bahrain is closely following with ELA and MENA, 2 digital organizations. Of course, Bahrain is considering also digital licensing now, which should emerge in the coming years. And Saudi Arabia followed Bahrain's trail also. They started with 3 digital banks last year. MENA was always there as a traditional bank, but STC Pay and many other banks are fully built to launch. So again, this is what's happened. Kuwait and Qatar is in different stage of tendering. Kuwait has already got the 3 licenses, which will get allocated this year. And Qatar is going to introduce digital licenses. So very, very clear trend where world is shifting. Go next. Now there are 3 models in digital banking which we have observed across the markets, right? So one, traditional banks building super apps and apps which gives digital journey. Most large retail banks are going down this path, and they are building the digital value propositions. Then there are traditional banks who are using their capital to invest into technology and build a full-fledged digital arm with a separate brand. Remember, it's not a separate capital, not a separate license, but a separate arm which is licensed, which is branded for digital world, delivering a unique UI UX to certain micro segments. And then there are challenger banks, or what we call pure play digital banks. There are none in Bahrain right now, but central bank is considering the license. And as all of you know, you saw Abu Dhabi investing into Revolut yesterday with a significant market capitalization. So Revolut is already under an application with Bahrain Central Bank. Many other such foreign ideas are already under licensing. So those licenses will come in white space area. Also, there is a clear white space for SME bank. You don't still have a digital SME bank. This was one white space in UAE last year, which was taken by View. It's pronounced as View, but written as WIO. And they have 20,000 customers in 1 year. So if anybody believed SME and digital cannot be going together for corporate bank, that's not true. Right? So that's the third model which is still available for banks to tap in. Go next. Now let's look at the market. So when we look at the Bahrain market, 1.6 million population, 1.1 million bankable customers using traditional and digital banks, significant mobile and internet penetration. Clearly shows almost 65% of people prefer mobile. So when you are building your digital value proposition, it is mainly going to be mobile driven for retail customer, and for corporates, it is going to be an internet driven. Now if you look at the right hand side, out of these 1.1 million, almost 450,000 prefers digital, and clearly 300 odd thousand is a retail space available for anybody to add on to value proposition which ELA and MEME is delivering. Right? So 300,000 customers to be grabbed. They still do not bank digitally on a pure play digital apps. 15,000 SME, not a single value proposition today. They largely go through different development banks or SME banks, traditional applications. Now this was very big pain point which was solved in UAE, and clearly it's an opportunity available within Bahrain. Moving further. Now how does one build a unique digital bank? It's actually much simpler than what people think. There is a general perception that you have to invest millions of dollars, you have to build a lot of technology, a lot of people. That's not true. Normally digital banks are less than 50 people, 50. Digital banks have simple products, 1 or 2. They don't do all retail, all SME. They have an MVP rollout where typically product gets launched in 6 months and then it gets enhanced with releases on Agile. So very, very simple Agile releases. Your growth and acquisition is based on collaboration. Nobody is going to realize your mobile app is released, and you don't have budgets to go above the line marketing beyond a point. So if you collaborate with the biggest retail store, the biggest supermarkets, the biggest telecom provider, because remember, a Zain has much more reach than a digital bank. So if you partner with telcos, it's a very, very big successful model for digital banks' growth. So collaborations where you can deliver value and you can also cross-sell products. Last but not the least, grow digital organization. Your own app may not be the only way to grow. Monetize your APIs. So whatever APIs you've built, simple APIs, customer opening, account opening, local payments, international payments, just 4 or 5 APIs. Monetize them through different stakeholders. Go next. Now, when digital bank looks at launch, it's 4 dimensions: product, customized financial ideas; process, how do you deliver UI and UX to end-to-end fulfillment; technology, what kind of mobile platform you want to launch, how much AI do you want to use; and the channels, what are going to be your channels in terms of value proposition, collaboration, and service delivery. Go next. So the ideas we have for the bank for future, I think everybody needs to understand. Go next. that key impediments while banks have today is silo org structures, retail, wholesale, SMEs, operations, moving to customer-centric. As Ram said earlier, it's customer at the center, designed for your customer. From a long time, half year to 2 years project, fast, iterative, agile approach, launching in 6 months. Automation mindset, you're never going to be putting in enough people for digital. So always use automation. RPAs, Gen AI are the great examples. From a tightly coupled legacy technology, go away and build your smart stack, which is modern and open source. Why open source? Remember, digital banks are not profitable from year 1, year 2. You can't invest in expensive technologies of Oracles and Microsoft and make money out of it. So open source databases like Postgres, open source app servers like Tomcat are available free of cost. So you really need to start building your stack on open source. That's where most successful digital banks are built. And legacy technology and tools, move to the lean model. Yeah, lean means you're removing wastages, right? So you're not going to be building processes. Go next. So there are 6 imperatives I'm leaving with you, what a bank of future will look at. Invest in Gen AI. It's simply powerful tool from growth and automation perspective. Focus on your experience. Most successful digital banks have unique digital UI UX experience designed for customer. So it's the same account opening, same customer opening, delivered differently. Embrace RegTech. There are global case studies. Many of you may have heard Paytm in India, one of the most successful digital bank and payment bank, went down, the license was revoked, and they cannot onboard anyone anymore. There's a huge amount of capital loss because they didn't have an AML systems in place. Agile operating models, don't build huge structures. Build a squad of 10 people, 1 for retail, 1 for SME. That's what needs to build. So start with 20 people and grow. Robust cybersecurity. This is the most important thing from a digital bank perspective. Your reputation as a bank is your strength. Protect it at all cost. And last, don't only think app, also think how you can monetize your APIs and who are your collaboration partners. So enhance your API offering. That's it from me. Thank you so much for listening.